Um, Good call.
Yeah.
So a little bit of background on me. So the work I do with calibrations and everything is 100% all about the teachings of Abraham Hicks. I discovered Abraham Hicks about 7 years ago. Did any of you see the hot seat that Amanda posted? Oh, okay. So maybe we'll post that on the Facebook group again tonight. Really fun. I just got in the hot seat last summer with them. But anyway, I digress. So about 7 years ago, I was 39 years old. It was prior to learning about Abraham Hicks. I knew about the law of attraction through the movie The Secret. But I never really paid it that much of attention as something that's really real and super practical and that could like really make my life super amazing. Up until that time, I was really super into like Tony Robbins, like super into positivity. Like I'm a natural positive person, but I was really in on that whole idea of massive determined action. Positivity, yes, but then go, make a goal, go get it. And that served me very well for most of my life. But in my mid to late 30s, all of that motivation and action based strategy to get success finally started taking its big toll on me. My feeling of overwhelmment and stress and anxiety went way up. As my life got better and better, I built a pretty phenomenal looking life on the outside. But on the inside, here I was like trying to keep all these spinning plates up through all this action. And it finally came crashing down. And so from like 37 is when the downhill slide really began. And by 39, I was divorced, unemployed, basically got fired from the last job I had pretty much, had over $60,000 in debt. My credit cards were super maxed out. I had $6,000 a month in expenses that were non-negotiable. I was literally weeks away from about to call my parents to ask if I could move back in with them at age 39 with a 5-year-old girl. It was my lowest low. And I don't regret any of that at all because it shot off such huge rockets of desire that called to me the teachings of Abraham Hicks. And so the path to that was kind of interesting. Like I mentioned, I was super into Tony Robbins. I even went to this program called Landmark, was all about integrity to others and blah, blah, blah. And I could say blah, 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 blah now. At the time, I was like, oh, this is the answer to living an extraordinary life. But so I had hit my lowest low and I was searching for answers, and it just kept hitting in my mind when I was following Tony Robbins and going to his workshops. I had discovered that the way he was able to make these phenomenal, fantastic transformations with people in a seminar, he could take somebody, I watched him take somebody who was suicidal depressed in a workshop. And within 30 minutes, this person was like, I'm the king of the world. And I was like, how does he do that? And somebody told me, oh, he for sure uses hypnosis. I knew that because I walked on fire with his hypnosis technique, didn't burn my feet. But what was really his secret is something called NLP, which stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. And I remember when I came home from my first workshop with him, I Googled that NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and everything I saw looked like, oh, this looks really, really difficult. And I put it aside. But again, when I was at that lowest low, it just kept calling to me. And serendipity prevailed. And I was introduced to this course that was like $7,800. It was 2 weeks long. I scraped together the last little bit of money I had and get to make a payment plan for me and everything. And I took this course 2 weeks long. And we started with NLP. It was NLP, hypnotherapy, and Reiki. And by the second day of that course, I was like, holy shit, this is the secret to the secret. I had already seen the movie The Secret. Didn't know about Abraham Hicks, but I'd seen the movie The Secret multiple times. And what they were teaching me in this course was like, oh, this is it. And it's super simple. This is how you can, and within NLP, they don't talk about vibration or vibrational set points or really law of attraction. They're still very action-based. But like I put the pieces together and literally it's like everything open and I downloaded everything. Like, holy crap, how does the whole world not know this? This is so easy, so accessible, and it literally changes. You could have this awful triggering topic and you get this little NLP tweak and like you see it completely differently. And so then this whole course is like 2 weeks, and every day for like 12 hours, you're just doing these techniques on each other. And so I left that course so high vibrationally, drug-free, completely high. I'm the queen of the world. And then again, like, I need to know more about this law of attraction thing. This is legit. And so within a few days, probably, I ran across the teachings of Abraham Hicks. And I was like, oh, this is it. There's a lot of stuff out there about law of attraction that's, it sounds nice, but it's not good. Like, I don't ever recommend anybody does dream boards, for instance. Nope, not a good thing. So when I found Abraham Hicks and I started listening to their segments and got their book, I was like, this is the real deal. There's nothing like in the probably over 20,000 hours worth now that I've listened to Abraham Hicks, nothing doesn't ring absolutely true to me. And so I soaked all that up, and then I took these techniques I learned in this class and started modifying it, because the way NLP is taught, I don't recommend anybody go and take an NLP course, because they actually load you up with a lot of stuff that's not very beneficial. And like I mentioned, they still, there's not a belief in law of attraction and source in the universe. It's still kind of up to you. Here, use these techniques to feel good, but feel good so that you can take this massive determined action. Again, this is a cornerstone piece of the Tony Robbins stuff is NLP, but it's NLP to feel good, to take this predetermined action that your brain and society says is the way to success. Goals, SMART goals, all that kind of stuff. So I just dug in, was modifying these techniques. Within NLP, there's probably thousands of different techniques you can use, but there's one that I took and kind of blew it up and fine-tuned and refined it to where it is so simple. Y'all can learn it real easy. You don't have to go to a course to learn it necessarily to get really good. Yeah, but so within 3 weeks of leaving that course, my vortex like literally just opened, and then raining down on me. I met the man of my dreams, came in, swept me off my feet, took care of all my bills, gave me his car. We're married within a year. We got this. The other thing, I don't know if Amanda shared it yet, so we'll reshare the link to my hot seat with Abraham. We'll also share a link to this page on my website for, I put this page together that kind of lists all of the magnificent manifestations that have happened in the last 7 years for me. That they're fun to list out because it's really quite outrageous. I've been on over 50 phenomenal vacations around the world. We've owned over 20 cars, from 4 Porsches and 2 Range Rovers, this, that, and the other, the different adventures I've been on, and over 20 concerts and blah, blah, blah. The things that have fit into my universe in the past 7 years doesn't make any logical sense how that could happen. And it wasn't like the guy I met at the time was a millionaire at the time, but now we are. And so I like to share that page to show the magnificence of what's actually truly available when you let go of the action journey and you make it a vibrational journey instead, how quickly things can change and continue to unfold in serendipitous ways. But the thing I even point out at the top of that page, that this work is not about the manifestations. It's about feeling good. It's about feeling good unconditionally, literally letting go of trying to manifest anything except feeling good. And then that's when this kind of stuff can happen. So this process I created is like as far as, and I've searched the globe wide and then created this process. There's nothing that's as fun and as simple and as effective as this. And I call it the Mallison method. And you're gonna get to see it tonight. And in 2 weeks, we're gonna do it again. So tonight, we'll for sure have time to do at least 1 calibration, if not 2. In 2 weeks, when we meet again, for sure we'll be able to do 2 calibrations, who knows, maybe 3. And also, who knows, like, so Amanda's trained in this. She's actually an endorsed Mallison method practitioner. Arlene is trained. Wave your hand. Arlene is a Mallison method practitioner. And it is something that I can see Amanda introducing more to you. And of course, you can book sessions with her as well. So this work is about raising your vibrational set points. And you have lots of different vibrational set points. You don't just have one, you've got lots of them based on any given topic that you're focused on. Raise your hand in here, either physical, or if you're not on camera, you can raise your digital hand. Raise your hand if you are very familiar with the teachings of Abraham Hicks. Yes. Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah, that's like a cornerstone piece of this. And if you're not, no big deal. You'll still get this, because the whole bottom line is it's just about being happy. And how do you be happy? Well, your natural state of being actually is happiness and joy and satisfaction. It's when you're focused on a topic and having a perspective or an opinion about a topic that's not in alignment with your inner being's view on that, or source's view on that, that you actually feel a negative emotion. A negative emotion is a feedback mechanism. It's your guidance system to let you know, hey, you're looking at that and your opinion of that doesn't match that of source. But the problem is, as you look at something with a negative opinion, and oftentimes you will have a negative emotion, then you almost allow that negative emotion to make you think that that's true. That person is really an asshole, for instance. Sorry, I swear a lot. So as you form these opinions and then you have these triggers and it gets triggered more and more, then your outside world attracts to you more evidence that that thought you're thinking is true. One of the things that Abraham Hicks says is, it's not about whether something is true or not, because if you focus on something with a particular opinion, you will gather evidence that it's true. But what you want to be in awareness of is, what is my perspective about this thing in alignment with source? Is it in alignment with source? And when it is in alignment with source, it feels good. I feel joy or appreciation or satisfaction or ease, or even neutrality would feel pretty good, just the observational stance of neutrality. But when you have a negative emotion, it doesn't mean that that's true or that you're wrong or that person is wrong. It means your perspective you have is just off. And it's like a warning system. I always like to use the analogy of, you've got all these nerve endings on the ends of your fingertips. And it's good to have these nerve endings, even when sometimes those nerve endings cause you pain. Like if you have your fingers and you put it on a hot stove, you want to know that that's a hot stove. You want to feel the ouch, so you know to pull your hand away so you don't melt your skin off, right? So negative emotions are not bad. They're not bad. They're actually good. They're really beneficial when you understand them, and that you understand it's your internal guidance system's warning system for the way you're focusing on something is calling to you more of that which you do not want. And there's a different perspective that can be had that can call to you the things that you do want. So that's the beautiful thing about this method, is that you bring to the table a wobble, a trigger. Some of you might already know the term wobble. Abraham Hicks uses it. It's my favorite term for like a negative emotion. I'm wobbly about a subject. It also makes it a little bit less serious. Nothing serious going on here, but I'm aware that this subject or this person or this circumstance or this boss or job or bank account balance causes me to feel fear or panic or anger or jealousy or hopelessness. And that's a wobble. So I'm eager to bring this wobble with this kind of off perspective to a calibration session, so I can go through this delicious, delightful, fun, easy, fast process of releasing the resistance that's there, so I can allow my cork to float up to my natural state of being, which is ease and happiness and all is well, knowing all is well. And when I let go of resistance and my cork floats and I'm back to my natural state of being, I'm now in alignment vibrationally with my inner being. I've tuned my vibrational tuner to my inner being. So now when that coach guides my attention back to that previously wobbly subject, I can actually look at it through the eyes of source. And that's where the magic is. You take a wobbly topic, you bring it to the table, you get a calibration, your vibration rises, and then you're guided to look at that topic again, and you see it through the eyes of source. And then you see what's really true about that subject. You see what's really true about you, or about that person, or about the bank account balance or whatever. And then those old thoughts or beliefs that were wobbly, you can take a look at those and see the actual ridiculousness of it, the untruth of them, which allows you to let them go and raise your vibrational set point on that topic. It's a really wonderful process. One other thing I want to talk about in regards to vibrational set points is, let me see if I can pick a topic. Actually, so we had a call earlier today. And so I meet with my group Monday through Friday. And it's kind of like I have my own version of like the hot seat, like Abraham Hicks has a hot seat. So I have people in my group, we have a group call like this, and somebody comes in the hot seat and they say, here's my wobble. I take them through a calibration and everybody gets to watch that. As you watch a calibration, it's a calibrating experience for you as well. But for vibrational set points, how it works is like, so one of the calibrations I did today with one of my group members was about the topic of feeling the need to, like, I should be doing something. I've got this desire with my business, and my logical brain says, well, if I want this desire to happen, I really need to do this, this, and this. The needs tos, the shoulds, the have tos, the gottas, those are all actually out of alignment. The call of source never feels like a need to or have to. It feels like, I want to, right? And so this person started working with me even before the training program began, like a little over a year ago. And she had a very dominant vibration in terms of her business of, I need to buckle down, carve out time, do these tasks in order to move my business ahead. She had a lot of momentum in this belief of action gets results. And so she had a vibrational set point that was pretty low. As she's calibrated on this topic over the last year plus, she's moved that vibrational set point, released a lot of resistance. So her reality, she's probably doing 60 to 80% less of this hamster in a wheel kind of behavior, but she still has that momentum. She still has echoes of that scarcity vibration of like, I can't just sit around and do nothing and have something happen. The truth is you can, and you're not doing nothing. You're focusing and fine tuning your energy, but it's taking a while for her to completely release this thinking that she really needs to take this action. And so her vibrational set point is getting higher and higher and higher as she continues to calibrate it. And her experience in the world is getting better and better and better. Every single time she has a calibration and releases more resistance, she allows herself to chill out even more and allow even more results to come to her with more ease. So that's the other thing I wanted to point out. Calibrations on topics are never one and done. I remember having a conversation with Amanda before, because she's been through lots of different training, hypnotherapy, RTT, like all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I went through my training, they told me, oh, this stuff is so effective. One session is all somebody needs to like completely clear a block. You hear the terms out there, clear blocks. Have this hypnosis and you clear your block. Or, at the end, they're like 3 sessions max. If you have to go over 3 sessions, you're doing something wrong. Well, that's not true, because of law of attraction and momentum that can be built up on a belief system and behavior. Like, it can take a while to like release those attachments to thinking the world is set up for success this way. This law of attraction world is so 180-degree different than what you're taught from a young age of, if you want that, you got to earn it, you got to deserve it, you got to be worthy of it. And so it's a calibration. You go out there, experience the world, realizing you can allow more things with less effort, more joy and more ease. And then you come and you get another calibration and you release more resistance, and your life just gets better and better and better and easier and easier and easier and more abundant, more joyful, more connected with other people. And so this work is all about feelings, emotions, and vibrations. And what you'll get to see today is that one of the things that makes these calibrations so beautiful and effective is that we take you out of the thinking mind. We're not trying to go about it the thought way. Like my thought is like, oh my gosh, making money is so hard. So let me do the thought of like, money comes to me freely, easily. No, like that crap doesn't work because your belief is really here and you're trying to like put a happy face sticker or like say a mantra. Or somebody in my class was talking about how like, oh, there's these subliminal things you can listen to while you sleep and that reprograms your brain. No, like there's a calibration of your vibration to be done, and you can do it in a really effective way when you really move the emotion, the energy that's in your body, and you change your vibration, well, set point through the emotions. And then once your emotions are different, then you activate your thinking mind on that topic, and then you're actually receiving from source what's really true about that topic. You're not trying to project thought. You're allowing yourself to receive thought from a knowing place of what's really true about that subject. So it's really, really phenomenal. You're not trying to convince yourself of something. You're allowing yourself to float up to a place of knowing and then receiving what there is to know is true about that subject. So I'll pause there before we go into calibration and maybe take some questions. If anybody has any questions before we do an actual live demonstration.
Yeah, and I was just going to add too that one of the things, I mean, there's many things that I like about this, but one of the things is that it is very sensory instead of an intellectual process, which I feel like a lot of the things can get you into your head trying to figure it out. It is very much a sensory process. And as you release the resistance too, you get to get more in tune with your senses, and that's part of, you know, knowing your emotions and feelings. So many people like get disconnected from what they're even feeling and don't even know, and this like reconnects you to those feelings and the senses in your body. And you know, it's all about the vibration. And
Yes.
and when you just hear vibration, you're like, well, how do I change that?
Yeah.
And this is perfect because it
Yeah.
releases that resistance. And like you said, it's like your cork floats and you go
Yeah.
up and your
Yeah.
vibration goes up.
What Amanda just said there is so brilliant. And I'm so glad you brought that up. Is the other thing that's phenomenal about this whole method is it gets you really in touch with your feeling system.
Mm-hmm.
Your emotional system. It gets you to understand what it is. What do these feelings feel like? So many people are so uncomfortable with icky feelings, they almost block themselves from feeling it. And then it shows up in their body as pain and disease or whatever. And so as you allow yourself to get in touch with your feeling system without being scared of it, allow yourself to feel a quote unquote negative emotion without fear, and then allow it to move. It connects you with your emotions, which then allows you to really live an integrated with source life. So you have this session, you feel good, you become that much more aware of your emotions, you become that much more aware of the importance and the reasoning for your emotions, and that it's feedback, it's guidance, it's literally your life's GPS system, it's your guidance. I'll give you an example of like we were actually talking about today in my group about how it might seem ridiculous to some people to know how much throughout any day, like I allow my feelings to tell me, do I open, like I've got one of those refrigerators with two doors. Do I want to open the right door first or the left door first? I let that be a feeling choice. It seems very insignificant, but I'm constant communication with my inner being and my feelings by allowing something insignificant to be a feeling decision, not a logical, what makes sense. Even like, you know, do I walk around this coffee table on the left side or the right side? I don't know which side feels better. Oh, there's no difference. Doesn't matter. Oh, for whatever reason, the right side feels better. Okay. There's no consequence of that, except that I'm just that much more aware of in tune and listening for my emotional guidance on right, left, or straight. And when you can allow yourself to be that much more in tune moment by moment to where your emotions are guiding you, that's when you get to the more the bigger decisions of like, do I call this person back or do I let it sleep? Do I write this email now? Or can I tell I'm not feeling good, so maybe I'll wait till later to reply? Or maybe I won't reply at all because it just doesn't feel good. You get really in your discernment of what emotional state are you in now, and really learn like, I'm gonna when I notice I'm off, I'm going to resist taking action. And I'm going to take the action to focus my emotions in my body and release resistance and feel good. And then once I feel good, then I'm going to decide, do I take an action or not? And what action feels good? And when you allow these little seemingly insignificant little navigational decisions throughout your day, be guided by what feels good, and what feels good, this momentum of feeling good increases, and you feel better and better, and you have longer stretches of feeling good. And then magically this serendipitous thing happens, and this serendipitous thing happens, and this serendipitous thing happens. And then you realize how magical you are. It's really phenomenal. So yes. Ooh, any questions before we begin? Look at little Arlene. You're so cute with your smile. Arlene, do you want to speak to anything before we begin with the calibration? Arlene's been with me. So for years, I've been doing just private sessions. And in the beginning of 2021, because I have such a strong calling to have this go throughout the world. Like it's, first of all, it's a done deal that's going to happen. But second of all, like I'm just constantly being called by source. So when I was in my private practice, that allowed me to really perfect this and fine tune it. Like this process is actually continually evolving. Even till this day, it just keeps getting better and better and more fine tuned. So does my ability to receive. I now realize I'm actually a channel. I'm an integrated channel. So Gina doesn't go away. I stay here, but I can tune in and receive guidance in the moment. And so being with private clients allowed me to perfect that. But then my calling was like more. And I only have so many hours in the week. So in the beginning of last year, I opened up a group coaching program called Vibrational Mastery. And Arlene joined it like back in January. And so she's been with me, like we're going on 2 years now, and talk about a huge transformation. And then when I opened up the training program for people to learn this, she jumped on it and has just been phenomenal. So Arlene, is there anything you'd like to share?
This process has changed my life. Seriously. I did listen to a lot of Abraham before that. I'm pretty sure it's 20 or 25 years, but and I had some different coaches too over time. But this is the most practical thing that I've ever experienced, to actually feel the changes, and more stuff is just happening naturally. Yes. Things that I wanted, the way I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life right now. And through the process of receiving calibrations and learning how to calibrate, because when I'm calibrating somebody, I'm also receiving benefit from that too. Like my vibration goes up. So through that process, I've just gotten freer and freer. I left my corporate job and I'm house cleaning, but there's lots of avenues open now, and I'm just excited. Yeah. Like feeling so much happier than I used to. Like life is sweeter. Bottom line, that's the best thing. Life is sweeter.
Yes. So good. And it's so funny too, as you talk, it's like, because you kind of as you're like, when you get calibrated and somebody guides you to release resistance and your vibration gets high, that coach will then ask you questions from this high vibrational state. Your eyes are closed. You're kind of in a trance. You're really focused on these good feelings in your body, feeling bliss or satisfaction or appreciation or whatever. And then the coach will ask you questions, which you answer from this high vibrational state. And essentially you're channeling.
I am channeling. I am doing integrated channeling now too, when I'm in the
integration.
Yeah, right. When I'm in integration and someone's giving me a calibration.
Yes.
I'm actually even starting to, sometimes when I go to the channel mode, I'm talking about myself in the third person. It's always like great wisdom that's coming through, and it often surprises me too. Like it isn't something I would have said myself.
Yes. Yeah. It's so cool. It puts you in a channeled state. And then also as the calibrator, if you learn this process and do it on others, the more you do it on others, like you become a channel to and a receiver. Like, for instance, I created this process and there was nobody to do it on me until I started training people last year. Yet my vibration and my steadiness and my knowing, my ability to receive kept getting more and more and more as I calibrated others. Like, to have hours every single day being with people where you're basically guiding them away where they channel infinite intelligence. Imagine like being live with Abraham multiple hours every single day. Like, that's what I got an opportunity to do. And so it's a phenomenal process. And Arlene actually reminded me one other thing I want to share with you guys before I do an example exercise of this is within the Mallison method, there's kind of 3 parts to it. There's 3 steps of the Mallison method. Step 1 is identification. You don't have to write this down. And in fact, probably by the time we meet next, I'll give you guys like a cheat sheet. And we'll talk about how you can self-calibrate. Self-calibration is not as whoa as when you're getting guided, not nearly, but boy, oh boy, out of all like the Abraham processes and different things you can do to release resistance in a moment when you're by yourself, rather than just taking a nap to release resistance, it is really a phenomenal technique. So you'll learn this. So again, you don't need to take notes, but there's 3 parts to the Mallison method. 1 is identification. Part 2 is calibration, and part 3 is integration. Identification is figuring out what's your wobble. You might have multiple wobbles going on in your life, but a really important thing here to do is when you're calibrating a wobble is to get singular. You want to get hyper focused. You're not fixing 5 problems and emotions at once. You're like, what I've noticed over this last week is I keep getting really pissed off at people, especially like in traffic, right? So you're picking a wobble to calibrate or malabrate, we call it. And the rest of that identification phase is that coaches, and you'll get to see it live tonight, you close your eyes so that you can focus within your body. Because if you keep your eyes open, you're not singularly focused. You're out here looking at this and this, you're being distracted. So you close your eyes so you can singularly focus on this wobble, this feeling of, let's say it's anger. And so that you'll see me do it where I guide you to really feel that anger as big as you can make it. Now that might be like, sound counter to what you hear from Abe, like don't focus on it or it'll get bigger. But when you're in a container of a session with an intention to calibrate it, you actually want to allow yourself to feel it so you can move it. You want to feel it so you can move it. So your eyes are closed, you're allowing yourself to feel that anger, and you'll hear me ask these particular questions. Where in your body do you feel this feeling of anger? One reason I think they call emotions feelings is because every single emotion, doesn't matter what it is, you feel it somewhere in your body. It's a feeling, it's a sensation. And so let's say you're feeling anger and you feel anger in your chest, or today when you're feeling anger, you feel it in your tummy or your right elbow. There's no wrong answer to where you feel it. It is where it is, but you want to identify it. Okay, it's in my chest. Is it heavy, light, or medium? Oh, it's heavy. You'll watch me ask these certain questions in a very precise order that allows you, that person, to feel this feeling so like precisely that it becomes like this abstract object that you can actually see. There's a weight to it. It's either heavy, light, or medium. It might be moving or it might be still. It might be solid and dense, like made out of a rock, or it might be swirling energy or a hurricane or liquid. It could be lava. There's actually, as you allow yourself to focus on it, when you first notice you feel anger, you're not you can't really distinguish these things. But if you allow yourself to singularly focus on the sensation and then go through these questions, it starts becoming like this abstract object that not only can you feel, you can see it. You can see it in your imagination. It has a color, it has a shape. And so now you've identified it. And first of all, just that act alone is resistance releasing, because you're no longer scared of it or trying to push it away. You're allowing yourself to acknowledge it. You're not stuck on the story and saying, yeah, he's an asshole because he called me this and he did this. You're literally out of the story and you're 100% in the feeling without the story anymore. So the no momentum gets built. It's you fixating on the story and trying to figure it out or solve the problem or explain why you feel this way. That adds momentum. But if you just stop thought, focus on this feeling and acknowledge it, right there, you've done some good work. Then we go to step 2 of the Mallison method, calibration, or malibration, we like to call it, which is actually calibrating, which means you're moving it, you're allowing the resistance to release. And so once you, let's say it's hot red lava that's oozing. Okay, let's pretend it's that. So we're going to first start by changing the color. This is your imagination. Even though lava is red, you might say it might feel good if it's sky blue. And then you change it to sky blue and you literally see it change to sky blue in your imagination, and you'll actually notice, I do feel a little better. I don't feel great yet, but I feel some relief. Oh, and now I'm going to turn the temperature down. Ooh, that feels a little better too. Oh, now instead of lava, I want it to be made out of fluffy cotton candy. And you just use your imagination and you see it transform to fluffy cotton candy. And then you check in, you go, oh, that feels a little better. It sounds so simple because it is simple, but it's super effective. At this point, you're still off the story. You're not back at that guy that cut you off in traffic. You're still singularly focused here and noticing, oh, now that it's the sky blue, fluffy cotton candy, ooh, now I want it to become even more. Maybe it spreads in my body, or maybe I pop it out and it floats up to the sky. You'll notice how it is when I guide somebody. I'm always asking them, what would feel better? This, that, or this, this, that, or this, this, that, or this. You know how Abraham really guides people on pick a better feeling thought. Well, when you try to take the journey up the vibrational scale through thought, oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. But when you make it something about changing lava to cotton candy, that's not hard, but it does actually feel better. And so eventually, after we finish the step 2 of the malibration and the calibration is done, I'm able to sense that there's a tipping point that somebody reaches in changing this, modifying this abstract object in their body, where I can sense that they're feeling not just a little better, but they're actually feeling a good emotion. Maybe they're feeling ease. Maybe they're feeling satisfaction or appreciation. And so you'll hear me ask, like, what do you notice is the emotion you're feeling now? And then once they're feeling that emotion, I go straight back to kind of like step 1, where it's, where do you feel appreciation in your body? What does appreciation feel like? Heavy, light, or medium? What's appreciation made out of? What color is appreciation? What if you imagine allowing that appreciation to become even more? Does it spread? Does it get lighter? Does it shine? And as you're allowing this feeling of appreciation to enhance itself, the momentum of that feeling of appreciation is increasing. And then all of a sudden, maybe now I ask, do you notice another good feeling? And you say, yeah, ease. Oh, so now I'm feeling appreciation and ease. Where's ease? And then we focus on that. That becomes more. I might even ask, do you notice any other emotion? And you say, oh, I'm feeling a knowing, a deep feeling of knowing. Ooh, where's that in your body? So this is the integration part. This is the third part of Mallison method, integration. Now that you're this delicious vibrational set point, feeling good, let's have you pay real good attention to that, allow it to become even more and evolve and grow. And then once I know that you're like saturated in this yummy, good vibrations, at that point, I'm going to guide your attention back to being in traffic and that person who cut you off. And when you're feeling appreciation and knowing and ease or any of these good vibrations, and I have you imagine reliving that experience, no big deal. No big deal. Maybe it doesn't even happen. Maybe I take you back to that, even before that situation happened, feeling this good way, and you actually get to see and experience that you would have made different choices because you would have been connected to source, and source would have said, hey, take a right here. And you never would have come across that guy that cut you off. Or maybe you still come across that guy that cut you off, but it didn't bother you, it made you laugh, made you giggle, made you realize, oh, I'm glad he cut me off because otherwise I would have missed that turn. It woke me up. And, so it just clears all that junk that was happening from that lower perspective and gets you to see something through the eyes of source. And in the generally, and you'll notice in the rest of the day after calibration, that rest of the day is just so good. And depending on how much resistance you have or don't have in other areas of life, that really good feeling can carry on for days. But generally, because you have other patterns of thought and other momentum on lower vibration, usually after a few days, it kind of wears off and you kind of just feel normal again. But you're never, ever back at that low vibrational set point. That set point is forever changed. When you're in a calibration, that set point gets so high, you're super aligned with source. But once you leave that calibration, you go back to normal life and your old vibrational thoughts and patterns and behaviors kick in, it might come down to here, but it'll never get down to here. If that makes sense. That vibrational set point on that topic is forever changed, which then allows you to experience potentially a cherry on top kind of thing. Again, the main reason that we do these calibrations is that so you just feel better. You just feel better. You just want to feel better. You just want to feel good. That's your singular focus. But the other cherry on top and sprinkles thing is that you'll likely get like a different kind of manifestation in that category of life you just calibrated on. So that's always very delightful to be able to experience. So any questions on that before we begin? Anyone?
All right. 2 pages. Yep. So I think we're good.
Oh, we have 2 pages. Oh,
yes,
fun.
We've got
All right.
35 people on the call.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Yes, Jill.
Question, but I have a quick comment if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can y'all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have a funny speaker. Okay. No, what I just want, Gina, thank you so much for saying that sometimes when we have a lot of momentum going in one direction, that it can take a while. Because I know for me, I've been listening to Abraham for I don't know how long, 8 or 9 or 10 years, and doing all the things, and I can get down on myself because I'm like, holy shit, like I should know this, or I should be better. I've done all these different processes, and so I'm just really grateful to hear. But it always gets better and better, right?
Yes.
But that point's definitely way higher than it used to be.
Oh yes.
But there are still these subjects that I'm like, what the hell? Like, come
Yeah.
on.
What the heck? Yeah.
Glad to hear that it can take a little bit, and that's okay.
Yes. And I'm glad you pointed that out. And the other cool thing is, and you kind of spoke to this, that it's always getting better and it's always getting better. And to know that there's actually not like a finish line or a final destination. Like, after my hot seat last year with Abraham, I got invited to like a podcast, like fun conversations with the hot seaters. I think Jill's husband, Turk, was on that. Yeah, Turk. Amazing. Super sweet guy. But I was explaining how like, there's never an ending to how much more worthy you can feel. There's never an ending to how much more love you can feel. There's never an ending to how much more ease you can experience and feel in your life. Because we're eternal beings. It literally just keeps getting better. So there's not this final destination. Even like so ever since I started training people, one of my best friends, Stephanie, is in my training program, and she's the one I have calibrate me now. So now I finally get to experience calibrations. And so let's say she calibrated me last year, and I got to experience a feeling of love at the end of that calibration. And it felt like a love that I've never felt before, like more rich and full than any feeling of love or satisfaction I've ever had before. Well, today I'm feeling more love than I felt last year in that calibration. It just keeps getting better. And so another, what's that?
As it should.
Yes, as it should. As it should. We're eternal beings, and there's always more that we want. There's always more that we can receive. There's always more abundance you can have, love, worthiness, all that kind of stuff. So there's no final destination. And what you can experience is another kind of newer up and coming channel that I started following a couple of years ago. It's where Amanda and I met, the Viola retreat. They really helped. Sometimes when you listen to Abraham Hicks, there's such emphasis on joy is the key and just be happy, that there's there can be for a lot of people, a lot of fear around feeling negative emotions. Like, I feel a negative emotion. I'm bad, or I'm going to manifest something bad, or something's gone really wrong. But one of the things that Viola has helped me embrace even more, which I already knew, but like, there's an eternal question, answer, dance. When you're in the answer vibration, you're in step 3 and step 4, you're in receiving mode. And when you're in question, you're in step one, and step one is an important part of this process. You can't have step three without step one. You can't receive without asking. The asking part of the equation can get softer and softer, and not so like, oh my God, I'm like, I might die. This is so bad. It doesn't need to be that bad. So as you find a process like the Mallison method or another process that you like that helps you release resistance, you'll notice that step one discomfort becomes less and less uncomfortable, but you're always going to have moments of discomfort. It's part of being physical here. It's part of the process of expansion and allowing more. You don't know what you want until you know what you don't want. And when you realize what you don't want, sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you can be in step 5 about it and not be so bothered and just see it as variety. But oftentimes it's like, ooh, I don't really like this, and that's not a bad thing. But one of the things that I have just really loved about being on this journey for as long as I have with a tool like this is really getting to experience that step one can be softer and softer and softer and softer. And I don't have to push against it or feel bad or guilty or that I'm wrong or anything is wrong. But I have a process that's reliable, which allows me again to feel really steady about being in step one. It makes step one more of a step 5 experience because I know nothing's gone wrong, even though right now it looks like it is. And I have tools and resources that are like not only so effective, they're super accessible and they're really pleasurable to use. And I can just feel better. So yeah. All right.
That's always a good thing.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So also I'll just say really quick, because I might forget by the time we get to the end, is there's lots of resources. Like again, for instance, Amanda is a terrific resource on this. She slurped this training up like nobody's business. She's got a background in knowing about this already, so masterful right away. So she's an amazing resource for you. And then also I've got a YouTube channel which has lots of different resources on it. I've got like a section in there that says like group coaching call examples, where you can actually see, like you'll see today, me take somebody through a calibration, but you can see lots of calibrations on that channel as well. So yeah. And then, like I said, by next time we meet in a couple weeks, I'll have that worksheet for you of like instructions on how to self-calibrate as well. All right. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Who are we going to have in the hot seat? So first of all, if you want to get in the hot seat, you have to be okay with being recorded and having people, I want to say like see your business, but FYI, I don't get into the story with you a little bit. I get a little bit of the story just for a tiny bit of context, but you're not going to give me all the dirt on everything, not going to be naming names or anything, but I want you to be able to be comfortable with kind of being in the spotlight with people and know that this is going to get recorded and also sent out to people outside of this group that we're in right here, right now. So when you think about, do I want to be in the hot seat? What you want to think about is, what I like to do is think about in the past like week or two, what's triggered you and triggered you in a way where you're still kind of not over it, or it's a consistent trigger. So like if you were bothered by somebody last Monday and when you think about it now, it doesn't bother you, that's not something to calibrate. You've already self-calibrated. You've already got a different perspective that allows you to look back on that with neutrality or appreciation, but something that still's got your goat, something like that. But something fresh, like this is something Abraham will say too. A lot of people are like, ooh, I need to do this work on a past life or something with childhood or something. And if you really feel strongly that something from your childhood and like those memories come up, for sure you can calibrate on those. But it's what's going on in your now that's affecting your vibration. You don't have to go back to the olden days. If it's something that affected you then and it's still affecting you now, you've got stuff in your now life in the past week or two that's going on that you can do the vibrational work on that. You don't have to go to when you got bullied in school at age 7, although sometimes that's an easier path for people depending on their beliefs about that. So who would like to raise your hand, and then I'll pick based on who's raised their hand. So we'll give like a couple seconds. I was kind of thinking Jane might. All right, Jane.
Arlene's excited.
Yeah.
She's my friend.
Oh, very good. Oh, Arlene, I think you said Darlene, and I thought that was the other person in the room. You're Arlene's friend.
She
Awesome.
lives here.
Oh,
Yeah, we like live in the same town. It's
oh,
so
I
cool.
love it. Did Arlene tell you the other day when we went to karaoke? Did you tell her about karaoke the other day?
I told her about it, and because I met Jane at karaoke.
Oh, shut up. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny. That's so funny that I was inspired to ask
Funny
about
story.
that. That's hilarious.
You're
Arlene-
always in tune.
Arlene was in Canada, and when I was on the Alaskan cruise this summer, one of the ports was in Victoria, and Arlene came to Victoria, and Stephanie and I, we went and we oh my gosh, let me tell you this. We went to karaoke, and it was on a whim. We were just had dinner, and they're like, what should we do? And Arlene's like, I think there's a karaoke place, or I don't know how we came across it. It was super empty, and we got our own room, and we all three had mics, and there was this big book. Half of it was in Chinese, and so we had like, but like all the songs are perfect. But I think it was like the last song. Arlene's like, I'm gonna let Source pick the song.
Yeah, because I was all in my head and being stupid.
It was so amazing. And so she opened the book, closed her eyes, and went boop. And guess what the song is? It was called "What a Feeling." Beings believe it. Like, what a feeling. That was the song. Her finger, like, I took a picture of it. It was so phenomenal. But anyway, all right, Jane, nice to meet you. Let's begin. Okay. So do you have any questions before I guide you?
Arlene has already given me calibration, so I have an idea of the process.
Yes. Okay, good. I'm going to close this blind so I'm not blinded. Blinded by the light. Okay. All right. So you already know. I love this. This is great. So what is it that you like to calibrate? What would you like to calibrate? What's the topic? Without too much story, just a little bit of detail.
Okay, because it's the present. Frustration with my neighbor.
And without going into too much detail, like tell me, I'm guessing this feeling of frustration comes up kind of often. Is it like once a day, a couple times a week? How often do you feel this feeling of frustration?
Quite often.
Daily?
Daily, right now.
Right now in this moment?
Well, right now in this moment, as well as right now, almost every day.
Okay, perfect. And tell me the main thing that gets you frustrated.
Noise.
The noise. Perfect. Is it like footstep noise? Well, actually, let me do this. Tell me one of the last moments and times when the noise was there and you felt the feeling of frustrated. Was it earlier today or yesterday? Give me a time when you're like, oh my God.
It's present now.
It's present, like literally right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like footsteps on the ceiling kind of thing?
No, it's heavy machinery in the backyard.
Oh. How long has this been going on? Like this,
Months.
like months. Oh my gosh. Can I tell you a little bit of story before we go into this?
Sure.
Yeah. Are you able to stay past 5:30 if we go a little bit long?
Sure.
Okay, good. So one of my favorite things to calibrate is like noise, bothersome with noise. I had this one lady who lived in Florida. We started working together like a year ago. And she was telling about how she was trying to move out of her condo, her apartment that she was renting. She used to live in this one apartment in the building, and she got an opportunity to go up a bunch of levels and move. And she was so excited. She moved in this place. And then right away, like that first night she was sleeping in bed, it was woken up at like 2:30 a.m. by the neighbors screaming at each other, married couple. And then the next night, woken up by them having crazy wild sex. But most of the time they were just screaming at each other. And she said when they screamed at each other in the bathroom, you could hear every word. And this would go on every single day. She actually had to start sleeping on her couch in the living room on a nightly basis. It was so bad. And she was like, is that something you can calibrate? And I was like, oh yes, for sure. And so we went through 2 different calibrations on it. First of all, the first calibration relieved a lot of like even awareness of the noise. Like all of a sudden she could sleep in her bed. She wasn't woken up at night. And after the second calibration, all of a sudden they left. She didn't even know what happened to them. She just noticed they were never home, but they didn't move because their patio furniture was still on the deck, and they were gone at some point, like 3 or 4 weeks. So it wasn't just some simple vacation. Who knows what happened to them, but they disappeared. She no longer was like, the thing is with noise, and a noise that's bothersome, it's very easy to start getting fixated on it. And then it becomes really dominant. And then it ends up being even louder in your experience than it might even be. And your attention to it draws to you more of it. It draws to you more of it. And it's like, oh no, this guy is just really doing this. No, you're adding to the momentum of it. And so some really miraculous things can happen when you calibrate on noise. But the thing is, what we want to do with this calibration is get you to a place where you're just not bothered by it unconditionally. We're not needing the noise to go away for you to not be bothered. You're just not bothered by it, and you're not paying attention to it. You're allowing yourself to focus on other things.
That's the objective.
Yeah, good. But it's also fun to know, like, hey, he might end up moving, or his machines might break, or he might sell them, or who knows? Like that kind of stuff can happen. I just like to kind of open it up to different possibilities. But the biggest win is to like have it be the same amount of noise, and you don't even notice it anymore. One thing that I remember they taught us in hypnotherapy and NLP right from the beginning is at any given time, there's billions of pieces of data or things that are going on at any now moment, but your brain and your senses, your eyes, your ears, your smell, taste, touch, can only process, like, I think the number is like 7 to 9 things at a time, right? And so right now your attention is on this noise, but as you soften that attachment to paying attention to it, and you pay attention to other things, it's like that doesn't exist. It's like it's not there. So that'll be exciting to see what happens. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll shut up now and let's start. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes, Miss Jane. Your eyes are going to be closed for this entire calibration until I guide you to it's time to open them.
All right.
Good. With your eyes closed, I want you to allow yourself to focus on this neighbor and this noise, especially if that noise is going on right now. And I want you to intentionally allow yourself to feel that feeling of frustration about it, or whatever emotion is there. Sometimes once you close your eyes and you focus on a topic, you actually notice, oh, it's not frustration, it's rage, or it's not frustration, it's sadness or hopelessness. As your eyes are closed and you're focused on the noise the neighbor makes, I want you to tell me, what is the emotion that you feel most dominantly?
I think it's probably hopelessness.
There you go. Notice that. When you allow yourself to singularly focus and isolate it, it's not frustration, it's actually a feeling of hopelessness. Allow yourself to feel that feeling and tell me, where does hopelessness show up in your body as a sensation?
In my midsection.
Yeah, in your midsection.
Or solar plexus.
Solar plexus. What do you notice is the main looping thought as you're feeling this feeling of hopelessness? Is the thought like there's no hope, or I can't move, or what is the thought that loops?
I'm basically helpless to stop what's bothering me.
Yeah, can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. That feeling in your solar plexus, would you describe it as heavy, light, or medium?
I think it's probably medium.
Kind of medium. As you focus on it, do you notice if it's moving at all, or is it completely still?
Moving.
In what way is it moving? Like up and down, side to side, vibrating? What is it?
I'd say vibrating.
Vibrating. Yeah. Keep focusing on that fully and completely, and tell me, this vibrating sensation in your solar plexus, does it feel like it's made of something that's solid and dense that's vibrating, or is it more like an energy or air or liquid?
It's definitely solid.
Yeah. What kind of material?
I don't know.
Like metal or stone or glass or?
Oh, I see. Stone comes to mind.
Yeah, so it's kind of like made of stone and it's vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
As you're allowing yourself to focus on that, what color does it seem to be?
blue,
Oh, like a dark blue or
dark
baby
blue.
dark blue. Is there a shape to this? Is it circular or flat or?
Sort of cubed but pointed at the ends.
Oh, got it. So it's cubed, dark blue stone pointed at the ends and kind of vibrating. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. Put all your attention on that. I want to ask you, if you imagine that blue stone vibrating even more or faster, does that feel worse, better, or the same?
About the same.
About the same. What if you imagine it slowing down? Imagine seeing and feeling it slower and slower, and tell me, does that feel better, worse, or the same?
It's getting better.
Oh, notice that, Jane, with your eyes closed. See that blue stone go slower and slower. And you get to choose how slow it goes. And allow yourself to feel some of that relief as it goes slower. And tell me, does it just slow down a lot, or does it actually come to a stillness? What does it do if you slow it down?
It slows down quite a bit.
Yeah, good. Now that it's slowed down quite a bit and it's feeling a little better already, I want you to tell me, what color would it rather be? Does that stone like being dark blue? Or if it could choose to be any color in the world, what would it choose to be?
A bright purple.
Oh, it almost made me cry a little bit. Are you okay with allowing it to change to bright purple?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So, Jane, I want you to imagine seeing it change to bright purple, and it can either happen like that or it can happen slowly, but allow yourself to see and feel it change to bright purple, and let me know once that's done.
Done. It's done.
Good. Does that feel a little bit better, worse, or the same?
Oh, it feels better.
Yeah. Allow yourself to enjoy that relief from changing it to bright purple. Yeah. Yeah. Really good. Now, does it like being made of stone? Or if it could change to any other texture, what would it prefer to be made out of?
Paper.
Paper. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. It can change like that or slowly. Allow yourself to breathe.
It changed.
Yeah. Does that feel better, worse, or the same?
It's better.
Yeah. Is there, it's lighter. Notice that. Is there any particular shape you'd like this paper to be? Is it just a square? Do you want to origami the paper up to like a little crane or something? Or what kind of shape do you want the paper to be in?
It seems flat, just flat.
Just flat.
Nice float kind of,
Yeah.
floating kind of piece of paper, light.
Light and floaty. Good. Do you want to keep that piece of paper in your body, or do you want to imagine it floats out of your body, or what would you like to do with it?
I'd like to, I guess, float out. Float
Yeah.
out.
Okay, I want you to imagine that with your eyes closed. I want you to see that. Is it still bright purple? Or is it just like white paper now?
No, it's white, yes.
White. Okay, good. Jane, allow yourself to see that white paper just float out of your body. And you can just imagine it float out of your body and maybe hover in front of you 3 to 5 feet. And let me know when you can see it out there.
It's there.
Yeah, look at that. Now that it's outside of your body, it's disconnected from you. As you look at it out there, does that also feel a tiny bit better, worse, or the same?
Better, of course.
Yeah, of course. That piece of paper that's out there, do you want it to get bigger or longer or smaller or shorter, or is it already an okay size?
It's fine.
Yeah. What do you notice as you look at this white piece of paper out there? What's the emotion you notice you feel as you look at it?
I want to say light, but that's not an emotion. exactly.
Like a light ease or
Sure, ease.
like an ease. Yeah, that's what kind of light feels like. It's ease. It's just floating out there. It's just a piece of paper.
Mhm.
As you look at that and you're allowing yourself to feel and enjoy this light feeling of ease, tell me, where do you notice ease shows up in your body as a sensation?
In my heart.
Oh, how good does that feel?
Mm.
That feeling of ease in your heart, would you describe that as heavy, light, or medium?
Light.
Light. Is that feeling of ease in your heart? Is there movement to it or is it still?
Still.
Yeah. What's it made out of, that feeling of ease? Is it solid and dense or like an energy or liquid?
Energy, more energy. Mhm.
Energy. What color is that energy of ease?
White.
Yes. With your eyes closed, allow yourself to see and feel that white energy in your heart. Ease. If you imagine allowing yourself to feel that ease even more, imagine allowing yourself to just kind of sink into that feeling of ease. I want you to notice what happens with that white energy. Does it spread or get brighter or lighter? What does it do if you allow more of it?
Lighter.
Yeah. See and feel that. Let me know when you've got it light, just right, where it's a sweet spot of ease.
It's good.
Good. Do you happen to notice any other good emotions in addition to ease? Like calm or peaceful or anything like that?
Absolutely
Yeah.
calm and peaceful.
Yeah. Just notice that. You have ease in your heart, calm and peaceful. Notice how your whole body responds to these feelings of calm, peaceful, and ease. You might notice your shoulders relax. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do with that piece of paper that's floating out there? Do you want the wind to just carry it away? Or
That's what I want. Yes.
yeah. Is it okay with being carried away by the wind? Is there anything before we have it float away with ease? Is there anything that piece of paper wants you to know?
Carry on is all I hear.
Oh, carry on my wayward son. Carry on. Yeah, good. Go ahead and allow a nice breeze to come. And allow yourself to see and feel that sheet of paper just get carried away in the breeze. And let me know when it's all the way gone.
Gone.
Good. What do you notice as an emotion that you feel now that it's gone?
Freedom.
Yes. Oh, feel that feeling of freedom. Where do you notice that shows up in your body?
In my heart.
Oh, that feeling of freedom in your heart. Oh, allow yourself to just feel that. If you were to describe it to me and wanted me to feel the same feeling in your heart, how would you describe it? Is it like airy or is it light? What's it like?
Yeah, it's light and airy.
Light and airy. Good. Is there a color to that feeling of freedom?
Red.
Oh, how interesting is that? What kind of texture is it? Is it energy or liquid or?
Paint.
It's like a red paint. Feeling of freedom. If you allowed yourself to feel even more of this feeling of freedom just because it feels good, what happens with that red paint? Does it expand? Does it spread? Do you get to paint the walls with it? What do you do with it?
Yeah, I could paint all the walls with it.
Yes, you take out a brush and dip it in that paint in your heart and go whoosh, whoosh, bop. Yeah, allow yourself to feel the freedom of that. Oh, yeah. Notice how your body feels. Freedom, peace, calm, ease, all of that. Notice how they all blend together. Yeah. With your eyes closed, noticing how your body feels and these sensations feel. Imagine going through the whole rest of your night feeling this feeling. And notice what you imagine you get to focus on when you're feeling freedom and ease, these sensations. The sensation like you're just going to paint red paint everywhere. What do you notice gets enhanced with how you move around your home tonight?
Easily,
Mm-hmm.
with calmness, with the usual banter.
Yes, the usual banter. With who?
My partner.
Oh, notice that when you're feeling freedom and ease and calm, with your eyes closed, imagine standing there with your partner, just talking back and forth. And I want you to notice what gets enhanced. What's different about this than the old usual banter? When you're feeling freedom and peace and ease, notice the tone of your voice, the look in your eyes, your posture and your breathing. And tell me, what do you notice gets enhanced with this fun little banter?
The warmth between us.
There you go.
Settled feeling we have.
Yeah. Yeah. Allow yourself to be present to that right now. Here's this cute banter back and forth and cute teasing and whatnot. And then that warmth. Where do you feel that feeling of warmth when you allow yourself to focus on that?
In my soul.
Yes. Oh, feel that deep in your soul. Does it feel warm, like a warm temperature?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it comfortable? Is that warmth deep in your soul? Would you describe it as like a good kind of heavy or medium or light?
It's light.
It's light. Good. Is there movement to that feeling of warmth in your soul, or is it more still?
More still.
Yeah. What's it made out of? Is that warmth like solid and dense, or like an energy that's warm? Liquid warmth. What color is that liquid?
Orange, light orange.
Yeah. See and feel that warm orange liquid in your soul. How good does that feel? If you imagine allowing yourself to feel that good feeling even more, what do you notice happens with that liquid? Does it become more? Does it become warmer? What does it do when you allow even more of this good feeling?
Warmer.
Warmer. Notice how that feels. Let me know when you've got it. Just the right amount of warmth.
Feels good now.
Yeah, good. Feeling this amount of warmth. Imagine talking with your partner some more. Notice what gets even more enhanced now that that warmth is turned up even more. What do you notice?
Always notice the love between us.
Yeah, good. What do you notice or not notice about any noise from the neighbor? When you're feeling this feeling of warmth and freedom, you don't even notice it, do you? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because you're focused on these pleasurable, lovely things in your life that match this frequency you're at now. It's as if that old thing doesn't even exist. Yeah, good. What do you notice about it now? Are there any sounds you notice now? Do you notice a sound but you're not bothered by it, or do you just not notice it at all? What do you notice?
I don't notice it.
Yeah, magical, isn't it? Imagine going through the whole rest of your night feeling this warmth, this love, this freedom and ease, this freedom for where you get to focus. That's the real freedom. You get to focus on things you love, and the things that you don't prefer just fall away. Don't have to push against them. Yeah, imagine making your way through your whole evening, laying in bed with your partner, snuggled in there under the covers, head on the pillow, just allowing yourself to bask in this delicious feeling of warmth and freedom. Imagine falling asleep, so satisfied. Imagine having a good night's sleep and waking up tomorrow morning, opening up those eyes and being consciously aware of these sensations in your body tomorrow morning. Imagine what might get enhanced in how you rise and shine out of bed if you're noticing these good sensations in your body.
Energy.
Yeah, it's like you don't even need the cup of coffee anymore. It's like, I'm ready for that day. I'm feeling good. When you're feeling this feeling of energy and freedom and ease, even if you notice a neighbor's out in the backyard using that machinery, what do you notice you get to focus on instead?
That.
Yeah,
Yes.
the feelings,
Mm-hmm.
partner,
Mm-hmm.
new projects. Looks like maybe you
Gratefulness.
gratefulness, appreciation.
Mm.
Yeah, any kind of activities that you might enjoy. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Going to a lake.
Going to a lake. Imagine allowing yourself the freedom. Arlene's super excited. Are you the friend that she talks about going to the lake with? She loves going to that cool water lake.
I
Oh
am.
my goodness. Yeah, she's clapping right now. From this place of feeling this way, if you just guide your attention to your neighbor, the person who is that one that makes noise, what new thoughts or opinions or feelings do you have about that neighbor, that person, when you're feeling these good feelings?
That they're confused.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you have that awareness of they're confused, is there like a feeling of like compassion or understanding, or is there a wobble there?
Compassion, trying to feel compassion.
Yeah. Is it that you're trying to feel compassion, or do you notice you actually feel it with a recognition that they're just confused? Or are you confused? Are you confused in looking at the neighbor, or is it a recognition that they're confused? Both.
No, I would think if I looked at it as them having this problem, then I having the problem,
Mm-hmm.
would release a lot in me and allow me to feel freer in the way I conduct my life.
Yeah.
And
Good.
how I feel about it.
Yeah. As you think about this neighbor and picture them in your mind, is there still any kind of not good feeling charge in your body as an emotion? Is there still a lingering like, oh, frustration or annoyance?
Tiny bit.
Yeah, okay. Would you like to soften that a little bit too while we're at it?
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other thoughts that you want to point out to yourself or to us about this situation, about the neighbor and the machinery?
No, I'm done with it.
Yeah, over it. Yeah, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is what it is. Carry on. Focus on other things. Yeah, take some nice, easy breaths. Bring your attention into your awareness of your body and how it feels and how good this feels. Tune into these lovely sensations. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I'm back.
Yay, you're back. Really, really, really good. So in a second, I'll open it up for questions, but there's just a few things I'll point out before we do. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Really good. You just did that in front of a Zoom room full of strangers. Really good.
I
You did
did.
excellent. Yes. Felt good, didn't it?
It did.
One of the things I absolutely love about these calibrations with the Mallison method is with such ease and consistency, going through, guiding somebody through this process, it gets them on what Abe will refer to as the other end of the stick on that topic. She started out with a feeling of hopeless and like can't stop it. And she got to a feeling of freedom and peace and ease. Freedom is that really pulsing on the other end of the stick, like hopeless, there's nothing I can do, I feel stuck. There's nothing I can do to freedom. And really it's a feeling like what you're wanting is a freedom to focus on other things, but it was just had so much momentum. It just took your focus. You felt like you had no other choice. It's just right. But then when you do this process and you take control back over your focus and your vibration, you realize, oh, this condition actually doesn't need to change. Before it was like, I cannot feel better until he stops or moves or something. There's machinery breaks or something. But now you get to see, oh my gosh, how powerful you are. Talk about real freedom to have the conditions still be there, but be able to unfocus from it and put your focus on things and people in your life that you love. And just really, really beautiful. So really good job. Who has any questions about what they saw here today? Anyone? Let's see if there's anything else I want to say about this. It's pretty cool. You got to see. So again, when I get you, I'll send it to Amanda and then she can put it like on the Facebook page or something, maybe along with the replay here. In that identification step in the Mallison method, like this method is so simple. And there's a very particular order to how I ask the questions. Like you notice where is it in your body is always number one. Then I always start with heavy, light, or medium, moving or still. What's it feel like it's made out of? What color is it? Sometimes I'll ask what shape it is. And then there's actually a purpose and intent for that order. If I were to ask her, where is it in your body? And then go straight to like, what color is it? She probably wouldn't be able to tell me the color. But for whatever reason, when you start with the weight of it, heavy, light, or medium, it's just an easier way. Again, like when somebody first feels a feeling, if I just ask them what it looks like, they couldn't identify it. But by going step by step on these layers of the qualities of it, there's just something to it. And then you notice when I had her move it faster, there was no change, but I had her slow it down and then she could feel a little bit better. But then the next question is, what color would you rather be? And it said bright purple, and right away, like everybody's different. And even a single person, every calibration is different, but sometimes it's just one change and they go, oh my God, that feels so much better. Sometimes you change one thing and they go, I think I feel a little better, but then you change to something else like the texture and they're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. It's really phenomenal. And you got to see, you could not only feel her vibration change if you're sensitive to vibration and sensitivity to energy, but you could see it on her face. You could see it, you could hear it in her tone of voice and her shoulders and her smile and the glow. With every little change, she felt a little bit better and a little bit better. And again, just like when Abraham says, choose a better feeling thought, again, I don't like that journey. I think it's way laborious and it's not, you don't get as clean of a movement up the scale. But and what you will hear them lately on their workshops and Abraham Now's is with every little change you make with anything, whether you're going through the thought route or this route or something else, with every little change, you want to pause and ask yourself, does that feel a little better, worse, or the same? It's really important to make a pit stop on every little change and check and acknowledge if it does feel better and allow yourself to receive that relief, the sensation of the relief. And then if you check and it actually feels worse, well, then you want to back up what you just did and try something else, right? And so you just feel a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And there's just something so magical about this process that you don't have to, like, the max number of changes I ever make with anything is probably like, I don't know, 8. Usually within like 4 or 5 changes, the person is like in a really satisfying high vibrational state, which now we can move to integration and milk those good feelings and then have them have a new perspective. And what's really cool, this is again how the Mallison method has been evolving. You notice that piece of paper when I had to reflect back on it and we're like, okay, we want it to float away. But before it floats away, I asked, I don't always do this in a calibration, but when I feel it, when I received it, what does that paper want to say to you? And it said, carry on. Like that is like a direct message about this topic, right? Carry on. So there's noise, big deal. Carry on, go love of your life. have fun, go to the lake, carry on. Don't pay it any more attention. Awesome. All right, who we got? Tiffany. Miss Tiffany has a question.
Hi, this was really, really great for me because I manifested the actual subject matter. I was exact same situation, except for mine was more of like footsteps, feeling like the person's a little too nosy, especially when I get on the phone.
Yeah.
So I closed my eyes. I did it along with you guys. Mine was a liquid, started out as clear, and then I turned it to pink. Then the way I got rid of it was out the window in the form of raindrops, pink raindrops. Then it turned into cotton, white cotton, and it rolled away with the wind down the hill. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. What did you end up feeling at the end of that?
Peace.
Yeah, girl.
Peace and joy.
Oh.
And it was just like so silent all of a sudden, like I didn't hear anything. And then, as I came on, there was a little drop of something, but it wasn't my focus. It was just like, oh, whatever.
No big deal. Yes.
My question is, because I know you said if you still feel a little bit of it or not, and I still felt very faintly a little bit.
Yep.
And I wondered, how would you soften that up?
Yep. So when you noticed that you felt a little bit left over, did it feel like it was the same emotion that you started with, or a different emotion?
It was different because it was so light.
Yes,
It was,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a memory.
Yeah. Yep. So basically, when you do the first process, you feel relief, and then you guide your attention back to the subject and you take a little scan. Are there some more wobbles, or is there still a charge? And you say yes. Then you just rinse and repeat. You just do the process again. Round 2. Where is this feeling in my body? Heavy, light, or medium? Moving or still? What's the texture? It's like you literally just you start right back on step 1 of the method, identify where it is in your body, make it an abstract thing. It'll be different than it was the first time. And then what color does it want to be? What texture does it want to be? What shape? Or, you just do it again. And then that lifts as well and transforms to the other end of the stick.
Thank you so much. This has been really great for me.
Yay. And I just want to say, genius level, Miss Tiffany here, and maybe some of the rest of you did it too. So like I mentioned earlier, it's a calibrating experience just to be in on a group call and watch somebody in a hot seat release resistance. Even if you're not following along like Tiffany did, even if you're just sitting here listening. But genius Tiffany, I didn't even think to recommend hey, if you want to follow along and you don't want to make up a negative feeling or try to match hers, but you can close your eyes and feel for some kind of resistance in your body and follow along. Now, you don't want to follow along and make yours like a dark blue rock, but you want to ask, well, how does it show up for me? Where does it show up for me? What color is it? And then as I'm asking her, what do you want to change it to? Then you just change yours. It's that simple. Tiffany, brilliant, really good.
So we also, Phyllis in the chat said she had neighbors making noise as well. So I'm curious if Phyllis also was feeling relief at the end.
I am. Thanks, Amanda. I absolutely followed along. And unfortunately, I feel like, when you need more than one martini, I feel like I have such anger and a feeling of being trapped here now that I'm just I'm bogged down from it. And this definitely helped though. So thank you, Gina.
Good.
But I'll be seeking you out for a one-on-one.
Yeah. Well, seek Amanda out. I'm not doing private clients right now. I just do the group stuff. So, but reach out to Amanda for shizzle. Yeah. Yes. Oh. Oh. Oh, very cool, Heather. Oh my gosh. sorry. I just like noticed I got a direct message. I'm so glad I've opened up the chat because I would have left the meeting without receiving that. Oh, so good. Yeah. So this is a wonderful process. We'll see each other in 2 weeks again. Play around with it if you feel like it. Again, you'll get even more relief if you meet with a coach and get guided, but even just doing this on your own, like, and you can do it multiple times a day. Oh, I'm feeling, like there is like the idea of like, if there's smoke or fire, like stop, drop, and roll. If you catch on fire, like if you notice you caught on fire with a negative emotion, stop, drop, and calibrate. Like there's no benefit at all if you're feeling a negative vibration with continuing with the action. If you continue with the action with that negative vibration, it'll gain momentum and you'll call to you even more of this unwanted thing that you're trying to put out with action. Just like a fire, you're trying to blow on it and it's like anyway, so stop, drop, and close your eyes. Okay, I've got time. I can spend 5 minutes taking some breaths, allowing myself to acknowledge this not good feeling, not be scared of it, not try to happy face sticker on it, not try to run away with it. I'm going to sit with it and find out where it is in my body. And I might even ask it, hey, little buddy, what color would you rather be? I like calling it a little buddy. It's like partly is because nothing serious going on here. And the more light you are with it, the easier it all moves. But yeah, have fun with it. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Go to my YouTube channel if you want to see more examples of group coaching calls and calibrations. There's 2 videos on my YouTube channel where I do this exercise that's called tuning to emotions. So satisfying. So it's not about taking a wobble and releasing resistance. It's about just in any moment choosing, I want to feel joy. How do you, when you decide you want to feel joy, how do you do that? There's different techniques, like, you can journal, but there's even a more direct, really abundant way to feel joy in a visceral way. And again, take it out of being a mental experiment or a mental process and have it be a visceral feeling process. So look for those on my YouTube channel, Tuning to Emotions. There's 2 of the videos on that. So any other questions before we go?
And I will send out an email follow-up. I'll be offering a special offer after this. I do one-on-one coaching with people with this process and have come up with a special 4-week package that's like a taster program. Usually it's 3 months is what I work with people, because like we talked about, it's a progressive thing and it's about consistency, because we build up momentum on topics. So it takes that consistency of coming to a higher vibration over and over so that you build that consistency.
Yeah. So just the FYI. So back when I don't do private clients anymore, but like my last going rate was like $500 an hour. And the special that Amanda's got going on now, it's like 4 sessions for like 300 or something.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
which is a really reduced price.
Yeah. It's less than $100 a session. Like you owe it to yourself, kind of like even just one session, like is so like life-giving and really gets you out of this place that you might be stuck in. But then 4 sessions, I mean, unbelievable. So if you have the means to do it, I cannot recommend it enough. Even just to taste it one time is like fountain of youth kind of thing. So, all right, I'll see you in a couple weeks, you guys. Bye.
Thanks everyone for coming, and the recording will be out on Facebook and Meetup. So tell all your friends, come in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Bye, good night.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you.